What's happening, everybody? I thought I might go ahead and do another video relating to one of the previous videos I made before that I think is relevant with guys now. Now, I wanted to bring up the whole situation as I discussed before about Dr. Dre going through a divorce with his wife. Now, I made a video a while ago discussing how Dr. Dre did not sign a prenup with his wife, Nicole Young. But as it turns out, that Dr. Dre did, in fact, have a prenup with Nicole Young, but she felt intimidated to sign it at the time. This is what the article from Vanity Fair said about this whole situation right here. Now, Andre Young, well, Nicole Young said this, quote, Young makes a few claims in the filing, the first of which is that her husband pressured her into signing a prenup very shortly before the marriage. This is what she says. I was extremely reluctant, resistant, and afraid to sign the agreement and felt backed into a corner, she wrote. Given the extraordinary pressure and intimidation by Andre, I was left to no option but to hire a lawyer, parentheses, of course, with the help of Andre's team of professionals, and unwillingly signed the agreement very shortly before our marriage. The pressure part of her argument probably won't hold much water. If the threat was, if you don't sign, we won't get married, well, that's most people's position in getting a prenup, right? Said Samantha Blade Jean, a family law attorney practicing out of San Francisco with no involvement in this case. She added that if Young herself graduated law school before signing the agreement, it won't do her any favors here. That is, she would have signed the prenup with full knowledge on how most contracts are both signed and amended. That's Law School 101. Let's see. The second claim is that Dr. Dre tore up the prenup, declaring it null and void. Andre acknowledged to me that he felt ashamed he had pressured me into signing a premarital agreement, and he tore up multiple copies of the agreement in front of me, she wrote. Since the day he tore up the agreements, we both understood that there was no premarital agreement and that it was null and void. Well, this is a real sticky situation, but this is something that happens with a lot of men nowadays with divorce, is that after a long time, even when a man gets married to a woman nowadays, she decides to go ahead and say, you know what, I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce. And I want to take half of everything you got to your name. And now Dr. Dre's saying, well, I made you sign a prenup. And then he tears it up, declaring his unloving, his, how can I put it? His love for her, that it's not going to change. Well, obviously that's not the case. This is what I think about this whole situation, guys. As I said in the title of this video, don't waste your time on these worthless and entitled women that have not bring anything to the table. Because here's the thing. Say, for example, with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is one of the most well-accomplished hip-hop artists, producers, and businessmen in the music industry. He has built up a great empire for himself with all of the artists that he's produced for, the groups that the group NWA, his solo career, finding some of the most notable hip-hop artists of all time, and even creating Beats, his own headphone line that's made him very wealthy. He's done great things for himself. But I think the biggest mistake that he had made, and what a lot of men have made who are successful, is they have women in their lives that honestly don't have anything to bring to the table. They're just there. You know, they may be the wife. They may make you look good when you're around them or they're around you, but they have nothing else to bring to the table. They have no value in helping you become a better man. Okay? They might give birth to your children, but but that's the extent of their contributions to you. So my thing is that We need to stop this shit. Okay? We need to stop bringing women into our lives that don't give us anything, that don't help us with anything. See, this is what I think. As I said before in my previous video on this whole situation, is that if Nicole Young actually contributed to Dr. Dre's empire with his business, his production, his Beats headphone line, then she does deserve a cut of his money. But I think your connection is unstable. Yeah, well, back to what I was saying. I think it's despicable for women to do this to men, control them rather than men leading themselves. All right, themselves from within. So, in a lot of situations like this, men who have this sort of point of view of themselves, they end up with these women that want to take advantage of them in order for these females to get what they want from them: money, prestige, and attention, all the stuff. And they don't help this man out with anything. See, I've been doing a lot of research on my own and understanding what it takes to be a real man and to have a good woman in your life. A real man is someone who believes in himself and sees himself as the ultimate prize in life. You are the number one most important thing in your life. Okay? It's not a woman and it's not anyone else. It's you. But ideally, you want to find yourself a woman who will help to contribute to your growth and development as a man. And you do the same with her as a woman. Like, this is what my t-shirt here from Nina Brown, one of my favorite motivational speakers on YouTube. Let me see if I can show you this. This is what it says. If she ain't holding you down, she is slowing you down. And from that point on, understanding all these values, that's what's my approach with women from this point. See, even spoiling women. I'm not looking for a princess to spoil that has nothing to bring to the table. I'm looking for a queen that I can build an empire with that has a lot to bring to the table. Because just because she's beautiful, just because she has nice titties, a nice ass, and a great body, doesn't mean that she is a good woman. There are women out there that that's all they have to offer, or they have nothing of value on the inside, or what's even worse is that they are just plain evil. And guys, you don't need that sort of thing in your life. But then you put, oh, this is probably the only girlfriend that I can have. This is why you feel that way and to make you feel happy. Let me bring up this other story that I knew from working at Red Lobster, that he worked at the restaurant where I was originally when it came out. And then he moved to Arizona, stayed there for a few years, and then he came back. And I saw him when he came back, and I asked him, "So why'd you come back, man?" I had this I had this girlfriend who I was working 80 hours a week for, and and she didn't do anything to help me out, and I told her, "You should help bring some money to the table. I can't just be working." And I'm thinking, "What the fuck are you thinking?" And he told me that she was this Instagram model that just wasn't doing anything to help her out. I mean, what the fuck were you thinking? You're working 80 hours a week for this worthless and lazy Instax just because they're a well-known model on Instagram. And it's like your looks don't mean anything. Because the thing is, for me, I don't just want to fall in love or be attracted to a woman because of the way she looks, but also what's in her mind and in her heart. Okay, because you know, a woman who looks good. I mean, that will be boring after a while. But a woman with a good man will really help me. Well, and a certain group of men that I have been looking into as far as understanding what it takes to be a real man, how to get women. That's pretty underrated.